Abortion hypocrisy in Ohio. Let's talk about this one for a bit, shall we? Because remember when, back when Dobbs v. Jackson was being debated, remember when many a Republican were saying things like, oh, abortion should be decided, should be left up to the states to decide, it should be left up to the people to decide. And I called BS on that way back when, say I didn't believe them. I had no reason to believe anything that they said about that because this would just be the first in many steps that they would take. Ignoring the fact that Tim Scott, who is now dropped out, was on the debate stage calling for a nationwide 15-week ban on abortion. Ignoring that for a second, but all of these Republicans were out there saying we should just let it be up to the states to decide. Let the people decide. And now, personally, it shouldn't be up to anybody, people to decide. People shouldn't get to vote on rights. Rights should not be voted on. But as we all went over with Dobbs v. Jackson, the whole, ruling is terrible and Alito is terrible. So there's that. And you can go back to that episode to understand why Alito's ruling was terrible. But now that the people had their say in Ohio, the people who had their say in Ohio, they overwhelmingly, twice, rebuked the Republicans in Ohio. Because first, the Republicans in Ohio were like, we're going to make it harder for this abortion amendment to pass. We're going to require 60 votes instead of 50 votes for something to make it onto the Constitution. And that failed miserably because the pro-choice crowd was like, we're not falling for it. We are going to vote no on this because we want to make sure that our bill passes, our law passes, or our amendment passes later on in the year. So the pro-choice people won earlier in the year. And then they went ahead and won again by overwhelming majority because 57% of Ohioans said we want abortion protected in the state's constitution. So now, what are Ohio Republicans doing? According to the AP, 4 Ohio Republican state lawmakers are seeking to strip judges of their power to interpret an abortion rights amendment after voters opted to enshrine those rights in the state constitution this week. So the ink hasn't even dried. It's not even, in effect yet, I don't even believe. I don't know when it takes effect in the Constitution, but maybe it's immediately. I don't know. Some of these laws take a few minutes to actually get in and become official. Republican state reps Jennifer Gross, Bill Dean, Melanie Miller, and Beth Lear said in a news release that they'll push to have the legislature, not the courts, make any decisions about the amendment passed Tuesday. To prevent mischief by pro-abortion courts with Issue 1, Ohio legislators will consider removing jurisdiction from the judiciary over this ambiguous ballot initiative, said the mix of fairly new and veteran lawmakers, all who are vice chairs of various House committees. The Ohio legislature alone will consider what, if any, modifications to make to existing laws based on public hearings and input from legal experts on both sides. So, again, basically what the Republicans are saying in Ohio is we wanted the states to have their say unless they voted in a way that we don't like, then we're going to go overturn the will of the voters and do what we want to do anyway, because hypocrisy is a conservative prerequisite.